elections, but obviously we have local elections going on as well, and one that you folks can vote on right here in the village is the Saddleback Valley Unified School District. Joining us today is Ginny Aitkens, who is the president of the board and has served for a number of years on the board, about 33 years here in the Saddleback Valley area, so quite a bit of experience. All three of your kids have been working through the school system locally, so you have that parent perspective.
Absolutely.
As well as the board perspective as well. A lot of our residents, I'm sure we have a lot of retired school teachers here, so they may remember how things were in the 50s and 60s and 70s in education. Lots of changes, just technology as well as laws and rules, and how do you cope with that as a board member? How do you stay current?
Well, you're right, there are a lot of laws, there have been a lot of changes. Luckily, our district, Saddleback Valley Unified, is a member of the California School Boards Association. I think that's an advantage. We get a lot of information through our district, and sometimes when I go to things at CSBA, I think, oh, you know, we've got such a good staff that we've already heard this. But you get other perspectives. You get input from other board members from across the state. It's a well-attended, we have an annual conference once a year.
Actually, you're the delegate from the district to that organization. So.
I am a delegate, and we meet, as the delegate assembly, we meet twice a year. And we talk about policy, what we want our organization to fight for in education. And then staff at CSBA can take what we have all discussed and determined to be the way to go. And when issues come up, then they're prepared to move on them.
One of the issues I'm sure that the whole organization deals with, and you deal with as a board member, as a trustee as well, is the whole financial issue. Obviously, you know, South County tends to be more or less upper middle class, or at least middle class. Some areas of affluence even, I would say, in these areas. Right. Which means there's lots of perhaps parental involvement. Maybe mom and dad both don't have to have full-time jobs. Parent involvement may be a bit higher. When the school says we're short on pencils, could somebody bring in some pencils? They go down to the local store and buy a box of pencils, and Johnny or Mary brings in a box of pencils to donate. That maybe doesn't happen in some of the other school districts, even here in Orange County. So that kind of gives the kids in this district at least a fair shot at a good education with all the amenities that we used to get out of that supply cabinet in the back of the classroom every day.
Well, you're correct. People do bring things in. We have a great community. We have very supportive parents. Even within our own district, we have schools that are less affluent than others. And there are service organizations that step up. And there are teachers all across our district who also step up. And you know, people hear that and think, oh, right. But it's true. Teachers are taking money out of their own pocket to provide supplies in some places. But you know, parents are good. The parents are involved, and very often you'll have cross donations. PTA steps up.
And I'm not sure your whole history of your life, but I would imagine that's part of the motivation that got you involved in the school district was having children in the district.
Absolutely. I actually went to private school. I grew up in Los Angeles and went to parochial school for elementary, and then went to a private Catholic-related high school.
You probably learned to hate rulers.
Oh no! we had a good crew.
You know, rulers, okay.
We had a couple of people that you kind of wondered about, but by and large, no. We had a good crew.
That's good.
And then when we came down here to South Orange County, we did look at the public schools. We're very pleased with what we saw. We made one move while we were down here and decided to stay right in Saddleback. Matter of fact, we looked right within our own De Bortola school boundaries to stay put. You
know, we see that a lot these days. You know, we live in Irvine, and we see the same thing, people moving into the city, whether it's Mission Viejo or Saddleback Valley or Irvine, wherever it might be, to primarily to get to the schools, and specifically into this certain neighborhood to get into a certain school or a certain high school, whatever it might be.
Right.
A lot of emphasis these days on testing, on standards, whether they're, you know, No Child Left Behind, national standards, statewide standards.
Right.
A lot of people are saying, whatever happened to local control? Whatever happened to local school board? How do you balance all that out?
There are things that we do still have local control over. Policy, how we implement our policies, that's very personal to our district. But you're right, again, there are a lot of controls from the outside, and now we'll have Common Core coming in, the standards that will really align school districts one to another. I think, you know, how we deal with it is by always keeping ourselves, our board, focused on the kids and what's best for the kids.
Yeah.
That's our primary focus.
A lot of school districts tout the fact that a high percentage of the kids in high school are graduating. Of that number, a certain percentage is going off to community college, four-year college, joining the military, doing something successful with their life. Other school districts maybe don't have quite the same numbers. But the reality today is that not every child is going to go to Stanford. They're not all ready for UCI or Cal State Fullerton or even Saddleback College. They may be in a trade. They may not have what it takes to go to a higher institution of learning. And then we have kids with some disability issues, be they physical or mental. How do you meet the needs of those students while still having high numbers of college-bound students?
Well, we do have, our GATE program, which is for the some of the more advanced students. We have remedial classes for students who need that. Pardon me. We have a lot of emphasis on learning English as a second language. There are targeted programs for the different students, but the main thing is that we want all of our kids to have the opportunity to go to college. All of our kids take a college prep course in high school. Not all will choose to go. There are other options. We have a great career technical education going on in cooperation with the ROP, the Regional Occupation Program. We are involved with some of the community colleges in providing classes for the students. We offer IB for those students who are real advanced international baccalaureate program, which is recognized internationally.
Right.
We of course have all kinds of AP classes that are available. And then we have special programs that target kids who are in the middle, who have potential, who maybe aren't reaching as high as they could, and so they get encouragement for that. It is a balancing act, but we have a strong instructional division, and they're constantly looking at ways to help the teachers improve their own skills so they can work better with the kids. We have collaboration among teachers. There are a lot of our schools have PLCs and their professional learning communities where teachers mentor other teachers. They work together, whether it's by discipline, in terms of, the history teachers might get together and say, okay, what's really working in your classes? Let's share some ideas. We're going to certain conferences. We're involving the kids in these programs that really keep them tuned in. Or you might have fourth grade teachers get together. What are the pitfalls for these kids? We've got standards we're trying to align and really work on. Where can we help each other? And that kind of collaboration goes a long way to helping all the students.
I would think that would make the teachers feel good that they're not alone.
Oh, absolutely.
Not out there by themselves trying to run their third or fourth or fifth grade class, whatever it might be, so it sounds good.
We all have our specialties.
Yes.
And so when you have a colleague who is really strong in another area, you want to learn from that colleague because it helps everyone.
Sure, that's great. One of the big issues is class size. How's the district doing class size wise?
Well, we're hanging in there. You know about the budget cuts. I'm sure we don't even have to go there. It's been really tough. It's been hard on everyone. It's been hard on the kids, on the teachers, the parents, you name it. It's got ramifications across the district. That's one of the things I would say is high on my list, and I can't speak for the other board members, but I think it's in the forefront of all our thoughts. What are we going to do about class size? When are we going to be able to do it? We are hoping to do restorations. We're hoping to roll back some of the cuts. There are a lot of things we are looking at, and we try to stay on top of. But
you seem to be enjoying your work, albeit the challenges involved, and you're running again for another term on the school board. People will see your name on the ballot along with a few other folks.
Correct.
And we thank you for coming by and sharing some time with us today. Good to have you with us.
Thank you, Rob. I appreciate
Thanks,
the time.
Ginny. Good to have you with us. Ginny Aitkens, one of the candidates running for the Saddleback Valley Unified School District. And while you may not have any kids or grandkids in school locally, you do pay taxes for the district. So it's very important that all the folks here in the village do not just fill out the top part of your ballot, but go on down a few spaces and take a look at some of these candidates as well. We'll be coming back with more. Ken will be here with the weather and a bit of more of a report on that big auto show going on in Anaheim as we continue with Channel 6 News for Friday.